All right, so just like the title says, this is the cheapest McLaren on YouTube and possibly the country and or the world. We're going to go over everything and I'll tell you the numbers at the end of the video. This is the MP4-12c that was in Dr. Parker's video where he went down and looked at it. I saw it 3 hours later. I was in contact with them after his video aired and I made a deal with these guys. So we're going to go over the numbers, we're going to do a walk around on the car, and we're going to give you an introduction to this video, and we are going to figure out what we're going to do with it in future videos. So guys, let's jump into it.
Well, McNuggets, new venture today. We got the truck and trailer hooked up. Let's go see what we can find. So you know how it is, like anybody else, whenever you go on a long road trip, you got to stop at the Buc-ee's. Gotta get fuel. If you guys haven't been to a Buc-ee's, then you just don't know. Okay guys, let's check this out. We are in Florida on our way back to South Carolina with something we just picked up. Let's check out, see what we got. So I believe this is YouTube's cheapest McLaren, or at least the cheapest McLaren in the country. I got this car extremely cheap. So this was on the Dr. Parker YouTube channel when he went down to look at it in Florida. I saw it on the channel, he passed on the car, I ended up calling him and getting a hold of him, and then I drove down to Venice, Florida to pick this car up, and I got it pretty damn cheap as far as I'm concerned. So the car runs and drives. It drove onto the trailer. Obviously there's a front end collision here. It was bought from Copart, and really all it is this front frame rail here and the cross member that has any damage to it, and the car came with that front frame rail. So both headlights are not damaged. Obviously it pushed the hood back, so the hood hit the windshield and it cracked the windshield. I have the bumper cover, but the bumper cover is all screwed up. I have all the pieces that go underneath, all the inside trunk and so on. I have the other fender well here. And it, like I said, it came with that frame rail. So come along for the ride with us. We're going to put it in the shop. We're going to wash it up, clean the interior out. We're going to look it over. We're going to pop anything we can on the hatch there, check the oil, check everything like that. Like I said, Dr. Parker has the video of him driving it up and down the street in Florida when he decided he made a very low offer on this car, which I thought was crazy. And he walked away from it, which I thought was crazy at that price. I think at the price that I paid, you could pot it out for at least double. Hitting the fender here, a little bit of nose damage. There she is. What do you guys think? She drives in and out of the garage on her own. Crisscross applesauce, here we are sitting on the car. So we got the McLaren into the shop. Let's give you a quick little walk around and we'll show you what we got, and we're going to go over the paperwork so we get this video over with and get on to ripping this thing apart. So when I saw Dr. Parker's video, this is what the conversation was that I saw.
Not going to get close to what I got in it, but I'd take 40.
Well, I'll be honest with you, I'm pretty far off of that. And, you know, I know you want it gone, and I've got 10 grand cash I can give you for it.
Yeah, no, I can, I haven't done it, but I can just part it out for engine trans should be worth 30 by itself.
So after having a couple of days,
of walking around, looking at it. I got to learn about this thing because I don't know anything about supercars. And I'm going to figure it out one piece at a time. But, so in Dr. Parker's video, if you go on the comments, you got all kinds of people saying things like, $10,000 was what his offer was, and they're all saying, I wouldn't offer that. That car's not worth it. So on and so on. You know, it's crazy, it's crazy. Well, this was the cheapest McLaren on YouTube for sure. At the very end of the video, I'm going to put up how much I paid for it. Or maybe it'll be in a thumbnail, I don't know. Or the title. However, it's got $20,000 brakes on it. And after pulling this off, well, he was driving this car up and down the road, and good thing he didn't drive it up and down the road a lot. Look at the pine needles sitting in here all around this engine bay. All the pine needles down inside the car and around this exhaust. Look at this. More than pine needles though, leaves, some small acorns. So, he was driving this car, and I did drive it in the garage, but I didn't drive it down the road. I didn't heat it up that much. He actually got this car somewhat hot. Luckily, this thing didn't go up in flames. However, in case none of you know what you're looking at right here, this is a McLaren exhaust. Yeah, right there. McLaren Sport exhaust. This was $5,400 for this one pipe. So, I don't know. How can you go wrong with what I paid for this car? The motor's worth what I paid for the car. All these extra pieces, the $20,000 brakes. The exhaust. So I went in here and yes, he left the windows open. Yes. And the question is, why? So I plugged the battery in the car and the windows go up and down with the buttons. So the controls somewhat seem to work for the AC. So on the car right here, these are very critical. They go in and out all the time. But they seem to work. Those are the AC controls and everything. Everything on this car is electronically tied into everything else. So, what? I got the seats go forward, up, down, the lumbar blows up, everything works. So all I really need to be is covered. As for the interior of the car, well, that's where I plan to start with this thing and obviously clean up the interior. As you can see, it's a disaster. Look at the seats. So, the Alcantara is actually in very good, the center of the seats is in very good condition. It's just this outside leather that burned up in the sunlight. And why the windows were down, I don't know. Same with the door panels. See that a little ripped up right there? Wherever the leather was, the leather burned up. So this car did have the carbon fiber package, and like I said, a lot of these controls work. And then the carbon fiber steering wheel, the carbon fiber, so that was an upgrade as well. And then obviously here's the key. And let's get a shot from the passenger side. You see the passenger side seat's not quite as bad, but it's junk. It needs to be covered. The seats move up, down, forward, and back, and the lumbar works. So all the electronics in the seats work. The dash is in very nice condition. All the way across. You can see the airbag deployed below. The key for the car is also carbon fiber. So this was the package that you bought. So if you needed to buy, if you lost the keys to this car and you needed to buy a new key, the computer setup and everything, it's $8,000 just for the key. So for all the people in Dr. Parker's comments saying, don't mess with it, don't waste your money, you don't want it to can of worms or this and that. This is a McLaren. Do you not realize how much the parts sell for? There's no way I could lose any money. I will double my money if I just decided, or more, if I just decided to pot the car out. So for all the guys saying it's not worth $10,000, you clearly don't have an idea, or they don't have an idea on how to make money. Because, man, I will just turn around and I will pot this thing out and I will make way more than I paid for it. All right, let's get down to the numbers on this car. So this car was bought through the auction, and obviously it has been through hell. So, at one point, actual cash value, whether you can see it or not, $211,748 right there. So this car was picked up by the previous owner through the auction. I know this lighting isn't the greatest. $57,412. That's what he paid for the car to get it out of the auction. Then he bought a frame rail right here. $920 for the frame rail. There's a receipt. He sent it to a shop. He had the car started, and they put a brand new ABS unit in here. So labor and putting everything in, $4,798. So as we sit right here, here is the total. For the rail, the car, and the auction, he is into this car for at least $63,131.
Okay, so let's talk numbers. You saw what he offered. The guy wanted $45 for the car. He offered $10. 3 hours after Dr. Parker posted his video, I was in contact with Simon, and we made a deal. To go to Florida, pick the car up and back, I am into this McLaren for $21,000. That is by far the cheapest McLaren that I've heard of yet. That car was a payoff of $211,000. He is into the car for $63,000. And I got it for $21,000. The windows in that car have sold, so all the stuff sells on eBay. $1,000 a piece for the windows. That frame rail you saw it as good as well as I did. It's $1,000 for the frame rail. That's got $20,000 composite brakes on it. That's not the steel brakes it came with. Those are big money. That exhaust was $5,400. I get $3,000 for that. The motors are sell on there for $20,000, $21,000. The transmissions, $5,000, $7,000, $8,000. So no matter what, I could pot that car out and double my money. And who's not into doubling their money? I mean, if I just bought that to pot out and never want to touch a McLaren other than strip it, I'm still going to make my money on it and say I owned a McLaren. However, what's my plans for the car? Honestly, I don't know. It runs and drives, so I'm going to work on the body a little bit. I'm going to figure out how to get this thing to test drive it up and down the road, see how it ends up, take some videos, see what's going on. That's what I'm going to do. Clean out the interior next and be able to get this thing to drive. It's going to need a little work to drive. I found a few issues so far, but we're going to take it from there. 2, if there's any issues with it, down the road, I don't care what I do with the car. $20,000 I mean, that's what you buy a Nova for. That's what you buy a Camaro for or a Mustang for. That's really not a lot of money. So what could I do with, what could I possibly do with the car? Well, honestly, if I don't like the way the motor runs, I don't like the whatever, I could pull that out, sell that for good money, regardless as a core. I would possibly consider LS swapping that with a C8 transmission. I would consider doing that. Twin turbo LS C8 transmission, rewire the whole car and take it from there. Make my own wide body kit, something like that, and then have my own car. I don't care. I don't have any plans on restoring that back to a factory car and worrying about going and getting coffee in it. That, I don't care about that. I want a McNasty McLaren. That's my way. I want to drive the car every now and then for short money, for cheap money. And that's it. Hello, kitty. Hello, kitty, kitty. I don't care if I pull that car apart and make it like Dr. Parker's brother, Cletus's Leroy car. Put a cage around it, drive it around with just tubing and so on. That'd be the only one like that. And honestly, I don't care. Because that's what we do, metal fabrication here. So, I don't know. We're going to see what happens with the car. So, guys, thanks for following along this far. If you want to see what happens to the car, and honestly, I don't know, stick around, follow, subscribe, and we are going to see exactly what happens. Guys, thanks for watching.